Hey everybody, it's Jillian. So I want to reassure you that this next book that I'm writing is going to be a compilation of the evolution of the Jilly Juice Protocol and the Expose No Lies Candida book because there's still some very relevant information in my first book that is copyrighted 2018. And I know I said I wasn't going to go on Facebook Live, but I want to make sure that you guys know that there's going to be now a very complete version of the book of both the first book and the second book that's out right now. It's going to be combined together with certain things taken out because they don't apply anymore. And then new information is going to also be inserted. So that way, this is going to be the only book that I'm going to be offering the world come 2021. And so if you're running, if you're a runner, if you are fasting, if you're taking antibiotic protocols that are anti-inflammatories, antimicrobials, anti-parasitics, antivirals, anything antibiotic, especially in the holistic world as well as the allopathic world, that will contribute to the decline of your body as well as it will have your body cannibalize itself. And I'm using the word cannibalizing because I'm still watching The Walking Dead. And watching The Walking Dead has really given me a different perspective on what is going on out there in the world. And yeah, we are living The Walking Dead. We have people who are actively falling apart at the seams, like literally, like their eyesight's going, their hair's falling out, they're losing collagen, they're losing usage in their limbs, their vital organs are not working the way it should, always need to be tweaked. They have some kind of cancer, disease, and chronic illness, which is the body in a major biochemical imbalance, and it's causing more evolution in one area of the body, usurping the energy, causing then the person to, eat itself alive, like cutting off your own hand and eating it to try to keep your vital organs going. And that is why people pass away. Not everyone will understand the Jilly Juice, and I understand that. Not everyone can get off their addictions of running, get off their drug addictions. Not everyone is cut out to really get away from biotech. When you're using Popular Mechanics, like that magazine, as a guide to what you think the new technology is in biotechnology, when you're saying, oh yeah, they found a way to reverse the aging process. However, it's not really reversing the aging process. It's just slowing down the death process. And it's not going to work for everybody. And it's all about CRISPR gene editing and lengthening specific telomeres with specific stem cells they can grow in a lab and then give you maybe another stay of execution to prolong your death. That's exactly what all the different gene editing protocols out there, and the immunotherapies, the therapeutics. And this is what people will pay for. They will pay for their own demise. They will pay for prolonging their death process. And so, I do kind of slam the trendy, holistic MLMers as well as the workout queens and kings who are causing people to have their bodies cannibalize themselves. Because obviously thermodynamics is in play here, and they are now burning more energy than they're able to actually retain and regenerate. And so guess what? When you see runners out there and people who are fasting to induce autophagy, you know what autophagy is? Autophagy. It's when you have low sugar in your body because you've been scared from sugar and salt in the holistic allopathic world. And so when you don't have the sugar and salt, then your body goes into a ketosis, which is basically cannibalizing other parts of your body to keep it alive. But you're like, oh, well, then that's how you starve cancer. Well, the reason why you have cancer is because you have an uneven distribution of life in your body. You have now more life in one area of your body. So then you're using immunotherapies and vaccines to go and try to program the antigens in your innate immune system to then go after anything like a virus that will send off chemical triggers that is trying to evolve, and it will destroy that cell or groups of cells. And so this is why people die. This is why the aging process exists. This is why we have people dying from natural causes, because they're not actively retaining the energy. They're not actively utilizing the energy properly. They're taking antibiotic protocols with an antibiotic lifestyle. You know, they're wasting their energy on things that really don't matter. All their fears and their politics and their, you know, and their activism, you know, and they haven't healed and sealed. They're too afraid of the symptoms. Again, they're fasting. They read my first book, which definitely tells you, hey, exercise. Hello, no exercise. But yeah, my first book was discriminatory in food because I was still coming from the holistic world. But my next book, the last book, The Evolution of the Reduced Protocol, we don't discriminate against food. We're not playing that game. So if you haven't bought my last book, which is The Evolution, then you're still working off of a very old protocol that, yeah, you're not going to survive in this world with this very aggressive virus that is causing your body to try to evolve. And if you don't have what it takes to evolve, guess what? That's why you see symptoms. Because your body's trying to evolve, and if you don't have enough of the energy in your body, it's going to try to steal from Peter to pay Paul. There's a reason why that term exists. It's actively taking from your other parts of your systems, taking away energy from other parts of your systems to keep your vital organs going. And that's why you look at your mom and dad, and yeah, they have gray hair. And yeah, they lost collagen. Yeah, they can't walk. They have osteoporosis. You know why they have osteoporosis? Because the body is stealing minerals from their bones. And so their bones are brittle. And they are a shell of themselves. And it is The Walking Dead. I'm watching this movie and I'm like, or this show, and I've been like really like writing my new book and compiling all the information from my last book and my other book and putting it all together in a different form and inserting new information that I have found and different ways to explain things. And I'm like, holy crap. There's so many messages in this show about, you know, what the new world's going to be like. You got to be productive. You got to be, you know, useful, obviously. You got to understand that death is going to happen. You can't stop it. Now, hopefully we're not going to be living in that kind of dystopian type of world. But when you have 7 billion people who are actively engaging and cannibalizing each other's energy because they're so worried about the vaccines, they're so worried about the New World Order, they're so worried about the Democrats and Republicans, they're so worried about GMO and 5G and all that other crap, and they're not even taking care of their bodies. Their body is slowly and aggressively losing energy. And they're allowing their friends and family to also siphon off their energy, their life force. And so, my next book is going to put everything together. And I'm going to take off the other books off the market. Once this book is done, those books are off the market, and you will see a compilation of both the first book and the second book together. However, I'm going to take it out information, reconfiguring it, inserting new information, and it's going to be in a nice, neat order, and it's going to be from the subatomic level. It's going to go down to freaking protons, neutrons, electrons. Now, I won't get so detailed to where you lose interest, because some people don't want to deal with like super detailed stuff, and I lose interest when I read so much detail. But you'll get the bigger picture with a few details, so that way you can understand that you need sugar, you need salt, you need carbs, you need soy. Okay, there is a certain amount of radium in the world. If there is radium in the vaccines because you're getting some kind of luciferase type of enzyme, big fucking deal. Do you realize that living organisms do give off a glow like fireflies? That's a type of radium. So if you happen to get a vaccine that has luciferase in it, who cares? Do the J juice. Radium is a negative element, and guess what? J juice is positive. It's all about balance of the positive and the negative. Yes, Dawn, love you too, girl. Okay, it's all about balance. You know, positive, negative attract each other. When you put two magnets together and you have the North and the South Pole together, they attract each other. That's what keeps the collagen, that's what keeps your cells bonded together. Everything is chemically bonded. But when you have now all this negative in your body, and not negative like, oh God, that's bad, or, you know, but like you have actual negative ions, like you have so many negative elements in your body, and you're not applying salt, which is a positive, backed with the chemistry of J juice, then yes, your body's going to fly apart. It's going to disintegrate. You're going to lose connectivity in your collagen, in your muscles. And then when you're actively running and fasting, you will incur more of the disintegration process. They won't be chemically bonded anymore because you haven't put the right balance of molecules and atoms. See, everything comes down to the subatomic level to understand. Now, we're not going to quarks because quarks is just parts of particles of the protons and neutrons and electrons and whatever. But that's where it stems from. The root level is the subatomic level, and then it builds from there. This is freaking insane. It's like, you know, when we learned about JJ's the last couple of years, it's like walking into the middle of a conversation. You don't know the root level. You don't know really the origination of the conversation. But that's what me discovering J Juice and understanding how it worked in my body was like walking into the middle of a conversation, not knowing who the players are. And now trying to figure out, okay, who said this and who said that? And when did they say this? When did they say that? And where did this all originate from? And knowing the backstory. Right now, you're going to find out in my next book, 2021, you're going to know the backstory of it all. It's not going to be like you're walking into the middle of a conversation. You're like, oh, yeah, we got to do sugar. Because that's kind of like what the evolution of the Diligence Protocol is. It's like still in the middle of a conversation. We still haven't gotten to the backstory of why sugar and salt. Then we look at polymers. Polymerase transcription. That's the building of the RNA and the DNA. Protein. Proteins have to connect with positive and negative. And then you have to have certain kind of electrons and everything, and they orbit around, you know, the protons and the neutrons, and that's what keeps, you know, the nucleus together. And then that's what then builds the body, and there's an intelligent design, so that way you're not having a 10-foot long arm. I'm telling you, everything stems from the subatomic level. And salt is the positive molecule. The compound, the elements, salt, sodium chloride, it's a positive cation, C-A-T-I-O-N. And then guess what? You have to have a certain amount of negative elements too, because that's what keeps things together. Positive and negative keeps things together. That's no different than mathematics. Okay? Understanding formulas, equations. It's all connected. Physics, chemistry, biochemistry, algebra. Now, am I going to go into so much depth where you guys get lost? No, I'm going to still keep it on point. But I want you to understand the bigger picture of what keeps you together is the subatomic level of how you put together atoms. And then how then turns into polymerase transcription. And then what is causing people to fly apart and fly off the handle and have really bad behavior is the fact that they keep applying negative elements to their body, causing then imbalances. And that translates into their behaviors. It translates into the body trying to evolve every single day. And that's why people are in pain every single fucking day, because their body is constantly trying to evolve. And then you keep suppressing the evolution with all of your antibiotic protocols, your running, your fasting, your elderberry syrup, your kombucha, apple cider vinegar, pills, powder supplements, and naturopathics and homeopathics and allopathics, and then believe people should die. And so, yeah, I come up against belief systems all the time. And that's really what the crux of why many people on this earth are going to pass away, because they think they should die, and they want to be trendy, and they want to look cute, and they want to have a little six-pack and little muscles. They want to chase after their little girlfriends, little boyfriends. They want to look cute for what? For, 10 minutes, and then they're in the grave. Oh, and she had a great life. She died peacefully in her sleep. Okay. There is nothing peaceful when your body is flying apart at the subatomic level. There is nothing peaceful. So I'm going to break down the fatty acids, amino acids, prohormones, and minerals. I'm going to break all that shit down. I didn't break it down in my last book because I really wanted you guys to get it. That, your biochemistry is the fatty acid, amino acids, prohormones, and minerals. And I got to break those down to then transcription and polymers. Polymers is not just, silicon and plastic. It also has to do with the connectivity in your tissues. Tissue polymerase transcription. I've read that so many times when I read the PubMed articles when it has to do with how they protein dock and they use drugs, or they break all the different drug molecules and elements down to then try to manipulate your genome so you don't feel pain, so you have a little bit of relief for a certain amount of time, but then the other parts of your body are falling apart. Yeah, I read a lot about DNA and RNA and transcription and polymerase, and I never really looked deeper into what polymers are until I actually slowed down and started writing about RNA and DNA and polymers and polymerase transcription and genome editing and all that stuff. And I'm telling you, biotech and the holistic industry does not have your best interest at heart. It's all money. It's all money. If you think reversing the aging process is something you get from fucking biotech, then you deserve everything you get. You deserve to have all of your little issues because you're not taking control of your own evolution. Now, I don't say anyone deserves to die, no, but I'm telling you, ignorance is not an excuse when there's so much information. I drop seeds all the time. Do you ever look and see what it is I'm dropping? Do you ever research and say, okay, she says polymerase, what the hell is that? What's transcription? Google all that stuff, everything you can Google. No, I'm not getting it for some, obscure blog site on freaking DuckDuckGo or whatever the hell that is. No, it's a definition. It's a word. Polymerase transcription. It's a term. And you break those words up. It's like polymerase. You look that up. Oh, okay. It's specific molecules and things that build up the DNA and RNA. You look up transcription. It's a building thing, whatever. Okay? And you do your own research. But I'm still going to break it down for you in my next book. So that's why my next book is going to be a lot of work, because it is bringing together my old thought process and then taking out the old and bringing in the new, and then organizing the information to where it goes from the micro to the macro, and then how it then translates into the population, the behaviors, the bullying, the people's cancer, disease, and their chronic illness, and all of their discrimination and why people act out and get all pissy around masks and why they get all pissy around, social distancing. Who cares? Take care of yourself. You can't stop what's coming. No one's going to come after you unless you put yourself out there. But the fears and all of the imbalances at the micro level is going to cause you to think that your fears are going to actually come to fruition, because that's what you put out there in the world. And so that's why I really don't, I let you guys know what's going on. Yeah, there's going to be contact tracing. You're going to be, contacted by someone at some point when someone tests positive. You're going to have to go get a test if you belong to a corporation. I have people on my Facebook all the time that say, oh yeah, I had to get 3 tests in the last 3 months. Because someone keeps testing positive. You're always going to test positive for COVID because it's just a virus that your body is going to have to adapt to. You can't stop a virus. You can stop the evolution from the virus, but you can't stop the virus. So yeah, someone's always going to test positive and you're going to have to deal with it. And yeah, there's going to be vaccinations. Big effing deal. Am I going to get one? I probably won't, because I'm not in a position in any situation where I have to. But if I had to, I would. But I'm not going to volunteer for one. But I'll be around those that are actively vaccinated because, I live in a world that has first responders, that has city workers. I do go and hang out with some people occasionally, as much as I stay home, so I like staying home. But yeah, I'll go out to the grocery store. Someone's inevitably going to drop their antibodies somewhere. I'm going to inevitably pick up my husband out there in the community every single day. He brings home microbiomes all the time. And I get exposed to them and I adapt to them. It's not a big deal, but those that don't have what it takes to be able to evolve to the new environment are going to have a hard time with this virus, or any new virus. Okay? So I'm telling you, fearing the vaccines, fearing anything out there that the government is doing right now, to play both sides of the fence. Yes, somebody, I mean, theoretically, we can say that this virus was released purposely. Okay, assuming that's true. Even if it's not true, who cares? We have to deal with a virus. And there's going to be a certain segment of the population that's not going to be able to adapt to it. And yes, you see it in your friends and family. They are passing away, or they are getting upticks in their symptoms. So when you wonder why, oh yeah, my back's been hurting. Oh yeah, I have kidney issues right now. Oh yeah, I have ovary issues. Oh yeah. Yeah, your body's trying to evolve because it's been exposed to COVID. Will you test positive? Not all the time. Antibodies come and go relative to the algorithms of the test. You will always have the virus within you, but you may not always test positive for it. And if you feel symptoms, then most likely you'll test positive, because symptoms is the body trying to evolve, and those antibodies are helping the body evolve. But you better have what it takes. You better be eating food. You better not be fasting. You better not be doing so many things that are going to undermine your evolution, like running or taking all of your antibiotics like people do because they don't want to feel pain. And you have to deal with your evolution. You have to do it. And if you don't want to deal with your evolution, then you see a doctor and you get things taken out little by little. And then watch your body decline little by little, and then faster and then faster. And then one day, oh, my mom's back in the hospital again. Well, it's to be expected. She was on a rapid decline already, and this virus just accelerated it. So I tell you what, the aging process is the body cannibalizing itself because you haven't healed and sealed. And that's why I say, don't discriminate against food. Meat is a complete protein, but if you haven't healed and sealed your gut, you won't be able to derive nutritional benefit from the meat, from the milk, from the vegetables, from any of those things that you're eating. You'll get some nutritional benefit, but you're losing energy faster than you're able to retain and regenerate. And that's the aging process. That's the walking dead, are those that are aging rapidly and are okay with it. They're all, yeah, it's so great to age. It's okay. I'm going to go out with the bang. Life is short. Play hard. Do that. I mean, there's so many terms out there, people that brainwash themselves into thinking that dying's okay. But when you actually want to evolve, you have to face the pain. You have to face your evolution. You have to face your predispositions. You have to face the anomalies within your body, mind, and spirit within your 12 different systems. And yeah, it doesn't feel good to evolve. It's rather painful for some people, but it's not as painful as being on your deathbed in hospice. But you've already probably programmed yourself to be like, okay, I'm fine. I have no regrets. I lived a great life. I accomplished this, and this, and I'm okay. I don't need to stay in this world. And that's exactly the depopulation agenda, is you being okay with dying. And that is why the Georgia Guidestones, if you haven't researched that, says 500 million is what they're aiming to have in the future. 500 million. Balancing nature and humanity and biodiversity or whatever, Don't be a cancer on this earth. Yeah, it's all about balance. And I'm going to mention that stuff in my book about behavioral sync. John B. Calhoun, who did that study on population with rats, and he saw major similarities on the rat behaviors in a very densely populated area in his little experimental area, in his little experiment of 2,000 rats, as well as what you see in then our population within our communities, our closely compact communities. Okay. And so, yeah, eventually when you have so much overpopulation, there's going to be anomalies, there's going to be crime, there's going to be people acting out, there's going to be activism, there's going to be political persuasions, there can be people like, oh, I'm going to go to MeWe because I can't say what I want to say, and da 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 da. If you have to get off of Facebook because you can't be more neutral in how you look at things, and you want to take a side and play the duality programming game, then yeah, you're exhibiting already the imbalances of the death trajectory when you take a side, because you don't understand how to balance out the positive and the negative. All you know how to do is take a side, because that's what you've been taught your whole life. Take a side, capitalism and cannibalization, and which capitalism is not horrible, but it does teach how to cannibalize each other for the greater good. Now, I believe people should make money, but when you're making more money than you're able to do it, then what happens is it sits there and it's not going to anything good. It's not helping yourself. And so that's why I'm going to also, in my book, make the association with how you do your finances is exactly how you deal with your body. It doesn't make sense to have a house and a car and a truck and all these material items and your body's going to shit. It shows that you have misused the energy, the currency in your body. And yeah, it may show in your house and your car, but if you have all these material goods, what's the point of you having that if you can't be around to enjoy them? So there's got to be a balance somewhere, right? And so, yes, your currency is your productivity. Your currency is your health. Without your health, you cannot make fucking money. Oh, but I paid into Social Security. I have a pension. I have all these savings. As you are declining. Great. Why don't you take what you did your whole life and put it right back in you? Why give it to all these corporations that are siphoning off your energy? Why give it to the politics that are siphoning off your energy? You're not putting your energy that you've worked hard for to your body. You're giving to somebody else so they can go and take your energy and cannibalize you as you are wasting away. It's not going to happen to me, but I see it happening to a lot of you. Some of you are too far gone because your belief systems are so ingrained that there's no way someone like me is going to penetrate them. Because who am I? I'm just some little Asian girl who doesn't have a degree, who's not a chemist, who's not a PhD, who's not a doctor. No, doctors actually are energy harvesters. So are naturopathics and so are homeopathics. They take away your energy and they take away your funds. You pay your insurance, that's money that could have gone to you. You pay, this homeopathic to do these tests on you. That's money taken away from you. That's currency that you've earned that now you're giving away. And you can't afford to give away your energy, your currency, when you are actively losing it on a daily basis. And then you go and waste your energy over all of the politics over Facebook. Oh, I'm going to go to MeWe. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Trump doesn't give a fuck about you. And neither does Biden. They want to keep the country relatively together on some level. But ultimately, they don't care what you believe in. Because no matter what, you're going to leave a pile of money for them to go and do something with. It won't matter what you do, whether you go to Trump or Biden, MeWe, Facebook. Somebody's going to take your energy and use it to their benefit. But it ain't going to you because guess what? You don't know the value of who you are. And so Jilly Juice helps you see the value of who you are, and it's at the subatomic level. And then you take yourself out of the war and you become more peaceful, more balanced, productive, and you'll enjoy your life despite all the crap that's going on. Whether it's COVID, whether it's cancer, disease, chronic illness around you, people will be dying around you, but you're not going to be fazed because you know that's going to happen and you're prepared for it. But it's not going to happen to you, and you always have your plan A, plan B, plan C, because you know life is going to change. I know my life is going to change down the road. I'm still going to be young, youthful, clear-headed, and it's just one of those things that, once you're on the J-Juice and you actually get benefit and you stay on it, you'll see where I'm coming from. If you're not doing J-Juice, yeah, you'll play the games out there, and then people will be taking, you'll be like one of those that get attacked by the Walking Dead where you have 50, 60 zombies that are just ripping you apart. That's exactly what's going on with you guys right now. They're not doing J-Juice, or not doing J-Juice at the level that you should. You're actively being cannibalized by your friends, by your family, by your politicians, by your doctors, by some of the corporations that are just taking your money, and you're not getting any use of it, really. So, anyways, that's it. That's all I got to say. I know I wanted to do this Facebook Live today because I just wanted to get that out there, but I wanted you to see what I was working on. So no matter what, I want you to see what my next book is going to be like. And that'll be my last book. And everybody can write their own books out there, whatever is spin off on Jilly Juice. I don't really care. But no matter what, your balance of your body, mind, and spirit starts at the atomic level, the subatomic level, and it builds from there. And this is why you see imbalances in the population and why it's so easy to trigger imbalanced people, because they have imbalances in their body, mind, and spirit. Once a person becomes balanced, they take themselves out of the war. There is no fight anymore. All right, bye.